Did you shed a tear of joy for Tommy Fleetwood, the 34-year-old from England, yesterday? It was his 164th career start on the PGA Tour after one blown chance after another, after one disappointment after another. Tommy Fleetwood is a winner on the tour for the first time, and because his first win came at the Tour Championship, like I said, he's now also a FedEx Cup champion. Did you celebrate accordingly?
I mean, I tears were shed. I don't know if it was for him or for me, but it was. I will say it was probably a bad weekend for the sports books because everyone was rooting for him, and you could get good odds like throughout the weekend pretty easily on time, because I think it's just the assumption, well, he never wins, like he always chokes.
Undeniably, and it's pretty interesting. He did become like the sentimental favorite.
Yes.
I'm
sure everyone had money on Tommy Fleetwood that bets.
Well, there is like there is a connection there between the general public just betting on things that they want to bet on. Like, I want this to happen,
right?
So
that's
I'm
how
going
they
to bet on this
thing.
So I've read things in the past. I don't know how true they are, because I think gamblers are more sophisticated today than they've ever been, and gambling is more readily available today than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. So this might not be true anymore, or as true as it once was. But what I had once read somewhere was like big sports brands like the Cowboys, the 49ers, big national brands, it would be hard to get accurate, true lines on them as a gambler, because the sports books assume there's a percentage of people who are Cowboy fans, 49er fans of these big brands that are just going to bet that way anyway because it's what they want to bet.
Yep.
So if you're ever going to bet that way, you might be giving up a little bit more than you otherwise would be giving up in terms of a half a point here or there, or maybe in some juice. Some other things like this, you get into the Olympics, USA Basketball. People just want to bet on USA Basketball.
Right.
So it's going to be hard to get a true number there sometimes. Boxers, like Mike Tyson's not really a thing anymore, obviously, but I remember when Floyd Mayweather was the top of the sport, it'd be hard to get a good number on him because they just knew people always were going to bet on Floyd Mayweather because they wanted to see him win. So these things can sometimes be true. And I do think that when we woke up on Sunday, there was probably some folks out there wanting to see Scottie see it through and come from behind and complete what was a remarkable year on tour. But outside of that, it was, man, I like Tommy Fleetwood.
Yes.
Buddy, I hated seeing what happened to him in Memphis. Geez, he's always right there. Man, I wouldn't mind seeing him win. And so I gather there probably was some money on Tommy Fleetwood yesterday. And if you benefited from it personally, Bennett,
yes,
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy. No, it was cool, though, man. Just seeing that. Like, I wanted to make it. It wasn't, it was kind of anticlimactic, the final round, but I wanted to at least see the ending when he got to have the moment.
It was fun right at the beginning and fun through about 9, 10, 11, and still interesting up until I think Scottie put his tee shot into the water on 15. Because he's coming for you, and he's the guy capable of getting you. And just the presence of Scottie Scheffler on you can change the way you perform.
Sure.
Like, that's a little bit like Tiger trying to chase you down. I'm not saying Scottie's Tiger. I'm just saying he's the closest thing we've seen to Tiger. And when he is lurking, and he just birdied 14, and the gallery's going crazy. But if he steps up and sticks that tee shot on 15, backs that 14 birdie with another birdie, now you're looking over your shoulder, and the whole world's going, okay, here we go again. But he dumps that into the water, just a bad swing, just golf. And it sort of opened it up a little bit. And then, yes, a little anticlimactic at the end. But I told CJ and Lang this earlier, like went downstairs and like, I don't know how much my boys cared, but I did turn it on for them and say, hey, I want you to watch this. Because there's like real life lessons in here. And like, this guy has been questioned and doubted and probably on some level doubted himself. And he's about to get this done. Let's watch it together. This is a special moment in his life, and I think a really sweet sports moment. And yes, I believe the best sports moment of the weekend. So let's watch it together. Again, I don't know how much it registered with them, but I at least wanted to try to put that in front of them, because I really did think that there was a lot of good stuff there that you can apply in a million different ways. There's this clip of Cat Williams that I've seen many times where he talks about golf, because he's obviously a golfer. He's a comedian, but he's a golfer. And
You ever see him on the course?
I know I didn't see him in person when I was out there, but he was out there at TPC Southwind.
I was going to say.
I believe all 4 days. I didn't
lives
see
in the
him.
area, yeah.
Yeah, lives in the area. I gather could end up in the news for other reasons here soon.
Oh, no.
Just keep paying attention.
Okay.
But he was out at TPC Southwind for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. He's a golf fan and has become a golf analyst on some level.
Right, yeah.
But more than that, he's
Cat.
a comedian. He's hilarious. So there's this video that circulates where he's talking about golf and talking about specifically how it replicates life in a variety of ways. It's very good. Because it's Cat and because he's a comedian, it's also funny because often him just storytelling is funny. But more than that, it's just really good. And there's a lot of stuff, I think, from the Tommy Fleetwood story that can be great life lessons for anybody, in addition to just the life lessons that golf can provide. As Cat tells it in his own words, but he more or less explains how golf, you stand in one place. You look out at it. All right, time to get started. You're about to start a journey. In many ways, a personal journey by yourself. You have a goal. You have something you're trying to accomplish. This is all on the golf course, but see if it sounds like anything you could replicate to life. Now, you got a goal. You're trying to get there, trying to accomplish this goal, but there are obstacles in front of you everywhere. Sometimes you're going to find yourself in a bad spot, right? You're going to wake up and go, shit, I didn't expect to be here. This wasn't in my plans. This isn't ideal. Now what do? I could try this, but it's risky. So maybe I should try this other thing that's a little safer. Or do I need to take the risk because that's what's required here to succeed? You're going to have good days out there. You're going to have bad days out there. Often they'll fall on the exact same weekend. You can pick your ball up and go home whenever you want. You can quit whenever you want. And there are times when you're going to want to quit. And there'll be times when it feels hopeless. So you can quit whenever you want. There's no referee to make you keep playing. Generally speaking, there's no coach to push you to keep going. Generally speaking, there are no teammates to pick you up. I've literally seen dudes on the golf course quit on the first hole. Like planned to play 18, got up, put the shirt on, hold down. First hole went so badly they couldn't bear to keep going. Just quit right there. That happens sometimes. You can sell your clubs and be done with it whenever you want, right? Just clock out. Or you can put another tee in the ground and keep going. Now, there are no guarantees that things are going to get better. But if you want to, you can put another tee in the ground. Keep plugging along, keep trying to get where you need to get, right? Mm-hmm. And you can see how you can do it. Like you can see it. You can envision it. You know it's possible. But now look. There's water over here on the right. There's trees over here on the left. Big bunkers in front of where you're trying to get. Water on the right, that could be, if we're still doing the analogy, an unexpected bill out of nowhere you didn't know you're going to have to deal with. Trees on the left could be the kids getting sick right in the middle of the school year. You didn't know you're going to have to deal with that, but now here we are. Big bunkers in front of where you're trying to get. That could be the pothole you might hit on your way to work, right? It all lines up on some level. I'm not trying to over-romanticize it, but there are a lot of things that translate well between golf and life. You might get a bad break sometimes. Oftentimes, you might need a lucky break to get through, a lucky bounce to survive. You might get it. You never know. But the best of us keep going. The best of us deal with the disappointment and try to figure it out, how to flip things, right? The best of us try our best to keep it positive to whatever extent we can. Keep working. Try to make things work out. Some folks are obviously better at it than others, but that's the trick. Unless you're really fortunate, you're going to have bad experiences in life. Everything won't go smoothly. How do you respond? What are you made of? In the privileged and wealthy world of golf, let me go ahead and acknowledge all that before somebody else does. In the privileged and wealthy world of golf, where whatever your problems are, they ain't the worst problems in the world, but still, Tommy Fleetwood became the face of that. Of what are you made of? Great player, great dude, wonderful on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but can't do it on Sunday. 163 starts on the PGA Tour, 0 wins. 30 top 5 finishes, 0 victories. The 30 top 5 finishes, that's the most on the PGA Tour in the past 100 years by somebody who hadn't won yet. Before yesterday, Tommy Fleetwood had won more than $33 million on the tour. That's obviously excellent. But what he became known for, more than that, more than for being a top 10 player in the world, especially after the collapse at TPC Southwind a few weeks back, what he became known for more than any of that other stuff is for never winning. Top 10 golfer in the world. But we don't celebrate that. We just talk about how he never wins. That's the memes. And then he's constantly asked about how he never wins. And that's a hard thing to answer. Think about that. In your own life, whatever it is, you're doing something, you're doing it well, but you're not doing it as well as people think you should. Now you're asked about it. We got a camera on you. And the only honest answer is something happens to me when the pressure kicks up on Sunday afternoon and I can't hold it together the way I would like to, the way I watch others do it. That's the only honest answer. Do you know how hard that is to say that about yourself? To admit to the world, I am talented enough and physically capable to do what it is you're asking me what I never do, right? I'm capable of doing it. Physically, I can do this. I'm good enough, skilled enough, talented enough, physically capable. But something happens to me right here and I fall apart. What others would say is I choke. What others might say is I'm weak-minded. That's a hard thing to talk about. That's something you talk about in therapy, not on CBS and NBC. And yet there he is on TV every week having to talk about it on some level. And did it consistently with grace and humility. Never seemed to get agitated by the questions, just answered them as kindly and candidly as he could. And to see that guy get paid off, get rewarded, if for nothing else than for the attitude, really sweet story. I love the way he talked about it afterwards. They said, how do you deal with all the disappointment all these years? You're so close so often, never getting it done. How do you handle that? You know what he said? I like going to work. I like what I do. Man, I wish it'd work out better sometimes in the end. But I like the process of this. I'm not having to drag myself out of bed every day and then drag myself to work every day. I am disappointed when it doesn't go well, but I assume that eventually it will go well. I know that others were more skeptical than I was, but I assumed I was going to be a PGA Tour winner. In fact, yesterday, he said something along the lines of, in my head, I've been a PGA Tour winner for a while. I just needed to get the trophy. And now he's got it. I just thought it was tremendous. And to see how happy everybody was for him. There's a picture of Justin Rose in the stands with his iPhone out, like he's just another dude filming a golfer. He's the dude that won here in Memphis 2 weeks ago. And I'm sure Justin Rose was incredibly excited when he won at TPC Southwind. I know he was. But he looked more excited yesterday watching his friend Tommy Fleetwood win. And do you know how good of a guy you have to be when your colleagues are that happy for you? When your success on some level comes at their expense and yet they are still thrilled for you, that suggests you really are what he appears to be. And then you see people like Scott Van Pelt tweet, he really is that good of a guy. And other people's tweet, he really is that good of a guy. It was just an awesome, awesome story. Again, maybe the best thing for the PGA Tour would be for Scottie Scheffler to win it, given the year he's had. But I think the best thing for sports yesterday was Tommy Fleetwood getting over that hump, finally finishing a tournament alone in first place and watching some of the biggest transcendent sports stars in the world celebrate him online. LeBron James, Caitlin Clark, and then, of course, the one that probably means the most, Tiger Woods himself.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.